Is this what you feel like when you open doors?
You're so rude. What's the date today?
27th of April.
27th of April today, and we have been away for a few days, so quite a lot has happened at the house. And we'll give you a little tour of what's happened this week. So our main thing that's happened is the floor is now totally gone. That's quite a deep hole.
Whoa.
Look at the door.
Floor's gone. I mean, this is just crazy. Is this what you feel like when you open doors?
You might be able to see that we are much lower down than normal because it's all completely ripped out and we're not even at the lowest point here. So the guys took it all out and they're putting in a block and beam floor, which is basically, I just had to Google it because I have been told many times, but I couldn't remember exactly how it works. But basically,
welcome to this episode of Can Meg Explain This Hungover?
we put down concrete footings and then they put concrete beams across, and then you know the like grey concrete blocks that you get to build like crappy walls, you put that across the floor and then you put everything else on top. So we're going to get underfloor heating and we're going to get, what else? It'll be screed and then you'll put your floor in on top of that. So yeah, it basically is really, really good for insulation, and we would have kept the floorboards if we could have. However, the front room, don't know if you remember, was completely destroyed anyway. So that was like falling apart, wood rot. And then the surveyor who came around to look at all the wood rot basically said that the floorboards needed all to be lifted, treated and put back down again. So although this concrete floor costs more, it wasn't a huge difference, and it's way better for the house in general.
We were going to be spending the money on lifting, treating, putting back down. So it made sense to spend a little bit more money and get it all way more eco, way more insulated,
Yeah.
way more solid. It's just a better floor all round.
Yes, however, it's quite weird.
It is.
I'm going to insert a photo of Miles last week when they got rid of this floor here, but they hadn't got rid of the floor in the room that we're sitting in now, and he looks like he's been photoshopped in, and it really cracks me up. He looks absolutely hilarious. Yeah. Really having to watch my footing now, but I'm really excited to actually get a real floor in, because ultimately we've been living with massive holes in our wood rotten or just where the leak was, where the floor was all falling in. So getting a solid floor and foundation underneath this house is brilliant, isn't it?
And heating.
Yeah, and we'll be able to get some heating into this place. I mean, we're quite far off, but yeah, we should be able to get there. So we've now got a lintel in this fireplace. This was being held up by wood for a while, so that's good. That won't fall down anymore.
Yes, you can see the proper foundations of the house here.
Oh, yeah. So if you guys weren't aware, this bay here was added in 1930. So this bit here is all the extension, and this is where the house used to end. I can insert some pics of like what we found at the archives. Yeah. But that means that the end of the house used to be here. And then this is new. I love this stuff. It's so nerdy, but it's so fun to see how everything used to be built.
How neat the builders are.
Yeah, look how tidy they are. They've left all their bits and pieces here. This happened as well. They've blocked up this doorway now, so there used to be an archway, which is a bit sad that that's gone, but this will be our new family bathroom in here. This hasn't been taken out because he was leaving it for the chippies, which is funny. I hadn't really considered the difference between the masonry people and like chippies and woodworking people to be able to take out different bits. So in here, we wondered why they've knocked out this wall for a cupboard, but not the one through it. We were quite confused as to why they've done one, and we always haven't got to it yet, but it's because that one is just a stud wall, so they were like, we're not touching that, we'll let the chippies deal with that one. Another thing that's happened this week, which is so exciting, is that we had our friend Darren round, who's an electrician, last week, that I think I told you about, and we weren't sure if we were going to be able to do his master plan of moving the fuse board into the middle of the house. And it turns out we can, and we might be hiring him for the entire job, not just the future jobs. Yeah. So fingers crossed we can do that, and he'll be happy to work with our builder, and everything seems to be going well. So that was a good little nugget of information that Darren gave us that hopefully will save us a lot of aggro in the future, and also it's better for us to be working with our mate, because realistically the finishing of light fixtures and sockets and switches, we don't need it all to be done like straight away for every single room. So if he can do the initial electrics, then he can come back and keep coming back, and it won't be annoying to be picking up someone else's work. We've done the bathroom as well.
Well,
It still looks like this. But I spent a lot of this week sketching out the bathroom to give the guys better measurements of exactly how it all works. Miles can be our lovely assistant.
And welcome to Can Miles Explain This Hungover?
So we have got, the wall is going here. Shut this door.
If Meg lets him, that is. Let's try this again.
the walls are going to be really wide because we need to fit the soil pipe in here. So we're going to have a toilet here. This will be walls for both bathrooms. And then here will be the divide between ensuite and family bathroom. Obviously all of this is going to square this off. So we'll have a bath against the wall there, toilet here, sink here, shelving here. Meg will put up the picture of how we're going to make the wall wonky so that we can fit a nice shelves in here. And then in the ensuite there's going to be a shelf behind the toilet. So a shelf kind of going along here, toilet here, and that'll hide the cisterns, which will be like a floating toilet. And it'll go along into the shower so that you've got sort of plenty of surfaces for shower gels and shampoos and all that lovely stuff.
Yeah. So the only thing that's really left is tiles, which I need to work out where I can get them from and what I actually want. This is the mood board as a reminder. So it's like blue, probably square tiles, maybe Zalige finish, but maybe not. I'm not totally sure. Kind of 70s vibes, but chilling. So with the bathroom, we're going to be working with Drench on it, which is really, really exciting. And they can give us everything within the family bathroom. I need to work with their design team to work out exactly where. But the one thing I wanted to get outside of their sort of new products was a vanity unit. So I really want a sort of mid-century looking unit. Might be mid-century, might be newer. But secondhand is really important to me. But I don't know how to do it and I don't know how to make it into a sink. I don't want to just mount the sink on top. I want it to be integrated and sort of undermount inside the cabinet. I'd be happy to get like a slab of marble cut and then it could be on top and underneath there, or maybe the sink goes all the way across. I don't know. But I need to work that one out and find it as soon as possible. So if anyone's got any tips of how this works so I don't buy the wrong type of unit, please let me know in the comments so that I don't just waste our time and money. One last update from us this week is that excitingly we had our first building control visit and they were totally happy with the steels and the floor so far. So that is amazing news. I'm always so worried about building control. It's kind of the reason that we hired someone in to do this and oversee the whole project, because I was like, at this level of stuff, I just don't even know where to start. If we were just knocking a wall down, I could probably have worked it out, but all of this stuff cascading into each other is terrifying. So very pleased that they're happy so far.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. It means a lot to us. Thanks. Bye.
Okay.